It's not good news, Eddie. Inflation is up.
Food inflation is up to 7.3%.
We've seen that spike of inflation after the energy crisis.
Today's inflation figures could spell trouble for millions.
Do you have this feeling that you're working the same, or even harder, but you're buying less and less and less every single year? You're not doing anything wrong. Inflation is quietly killing your purchasing power. By the end of this video, you'll understand how inflation affects all of us, and how intelligent people protect themselves from it. So welcome back, Achievers. Fill up those cups with undiluted black coffee, because today you'll need the energy to kick the shit out of inflation.
You are watching the Achievers Toolkit. Build a better you.
I have a corporate job. I work in project management. I also built a small side business. I made a tremendous effort to get a college education, build a career, buy my house, and do things right. And yet, my life keeps getting more and more expensive, to the point where I have to work harder just to stay in the same place, financially speaking. If this resonates with you, well, that means we live on the same planet. Pretty much every country in the world has inflation. Some, of course, more than others. Countries like Argentina and Turkey are famous for extreme inflation, but even strong economies like the US, the UK, Canada, and the entire Eurozone suffer from it. To illustrate inflation, I'll show you a banknote from my personal collection. This is a $1 billion bill from Zimbabwe. At one point, inflation was so severe there that they had to print billion and even trillion-dollar bills that would barely buy basic groceries. The people from Zimbabwe had to endure inflation rates beyond what most people in developed countries can even imagine. You're probably not watching this from Zimbabwe, but there is an uncomfortable truth that connects pretty much every currency. Even if it's US dollars, euros, pounds, pesos, or whatever piece of paper you use to buy stuff, they all have something in common. Your currency, our currency, is losing value every single year. And this is not just a monetary issue. If inflation is intense enough and persistent enough, it becomes a psychological problem. In some countries, people who were once considered middle class are now surviving on credit purchases, borrowing from their future selves, just to buy groceries and basic necessities. This, of course, leads to chronic anxiety, insecurity, and long-term stress. So I believe it's important to fight inflation intelligently, with all we got. Next, I'll share the two most powerful actions you can take to protect yourself. Action number 1. Increase your real income. This might sound very obvious, of course, but your income must grow at least at the same pace as inflation. If inflation is 5% and your raise is 3%, you are getting poorer in real terms. And believe me, I know how that feels. Before COVID, my employer used to increase my salary by 2% every year. At first, I stupidly thought this was a real increase, but soon I realized it was just an inflation adjustment. I wasn't making more money in real terms. After COVID, many companies stopped doing this. Now we see stagnant wages in many sectors. So how do we fight this? If you could negotiate 2% or 3% yearly increases, or even a small performance bonus, that helps. If not, you may need to push for a promotion or upskill to find a better paying job. If you are like me and you run your own business or a small side business, you have a bit more control. You can adjust your prices. Whatever you do, don't lie to yourself. Beating inflation is not about saving, it's not about cutting costs, canceling subscriptions, or skipping holidays. Reducing expenses helps, of course, but it helps today. In the long term, you must increase your real income. Action number 2. Own assets, not just cash. Cash is not safe, and I can prove that to you. If you had, for example, $50,000 in 2020, and you put them in a box, untouched, and you open the box today, you would have lost $10,000 in real purchasing power. 10 grand, completely flushed down the toilet. That loss is invisible, but it's real. And I'm gonna get a bit philosophical here. Money to me is not just money. It represents my time, my effort, the holidays I didn't take, the luxuries I didn't buy. Money is not everything in life, it's not even the most important thing in life, but it's something worth protecting. Now, having cash for emergencies is essential. If you lose your job, your car breaks down, or you face a medical bill, then yes, liquidity matters. But once you have a solid emergency fund of, let's say, 3 to 6 months, 1 year of expenses, then any excess cash on top of that is just a wasted opportunity. Inflation punishes savers, but it rewards owners. Owning a productive asset, like a small business, a rental property, stocks that pay quarterly dividends, or any other appreciating asset, gives you a better chance of growing or at least preserving your purchasing power. Personally, I run a small side business. I invest in shares, and I allocate a portion to gold, which I discussed in my previous video. You can check it on my channel if you're interested. But gold is just one tool. The principle here is ownership. You want assets that either appreciate faster than inflation and/or generate cash flow. It's not about getting rich, it's about earning that extra 2, 3, 4% per year that keeps you afloat. In conclusion, you can't control central banks, you can't control global policy, but you can influence your income growth and your asset ownership. You might not see dramatic changes in a few months or even in a year, but over time, those good decisions compound. And trust me, your future self will thank you. That's all for today, Achievers. If you enjoy this type of content, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And if you're interested in productivity, minimalism, and personal finance, you can download a free chapter of my book on my website or grab a copy on Amazon. Thank you for watching, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one.